Hello, everyone. My name is Mozzie Allen. I'm your host here on the Uncut Roots podcast. We're on episode 5, and today I'm here with Akanesi Latu-Alves, a track athlete at San Jose State. So, to begin, how did you get into track?
Um, I first started doing track in my elementary school. We had like play day for like kindergarten through like fifth grade, and I would do like the bobcat races every year. And I was like 6 when I started, and that was like for fun. And then I joined my sixth grade like middle school track team, and that's when I first started doing track competitively, and yeah, that's how I got into it.
And from the beginning of when you started playing track, was college always the goal, or after a while you noticed, wow, I'm pretty good at this, I'm going to stick with it?
Not really. I actually, after middle school, I took a break, and then I ended up getting injured my freshman and sophomore year of high school. So I only competed in high school for like 2 years. It wasn't until my junior year that I decided I'd like to give myself like 4 more years to see, how things would play out for me. But coming into high school, it probably wasn't the plan to like do sports in college.
So then, was there like a coach or mentor that I guess changed your trajectory from doing it for fun to pursuing it at a high level?
Hmm. Uh, I would say there was probably like a lot of different people like throughout like my journey that helped me, but I did have this one coach, Coach Ken. He's someone I trained with in like the off season, like during summer and stuff, and like I think he was someone that just like really inspired me like day to day. I can be someone that can get kind of down sometimes, and he has a very positive mindset. So yeah, and my
That's
parents.
like that's actually, I'm really glad that you mentioned that about getting into your own head, because we've actually talked about like mental health and confidence a lot
Mhm.
on this. So I'll actually ask you now, what has worked the best for you when you doubt confidence or lack confidence or feel a doubt in yourself?
I think what helps for me is to write my feelings down and then write my goals down again. Also like praying. I am someone like I can, especially something like track. It's not like a team on a field or on a court. It's
Right.
you versus the track and whatever time or whatever mark you're trying to hit. And so I think what helps for me is when I get like doubtful thoughts is to let it pass. Like kind of like when you see a bird in the sky, let it come through you and then let it flow out of you. And some things that kind of help me is I have a journal. So when I'm having doubts, I'll write down my doubts, and then on the next page like I'll write down my goals and everything I can do just to remind myself that like everything I want is still attainable.
So then, what, I guess now, going from jumping from high school to college, what do you think people do not know about the recruiting process, or even just if you walked on the walk on process?
Um, the recruiting process, well, mine's been a little different because I just transferred. So I started college 2 years ago at Portland State University. I just transferred to San Jose State, so I'll be starting there in the fall. But I think at a high school, the recruitment process was, I feel like, a little easier for me. I think for others it might be different, but for me, at a high school, it was like really exciting too, because everyone from high school is committing, and then you don't know where your next life part of your life is, how
Yeah.
it's gonna go, and then when you hit the portal in college, especially right now, it's like just like nerve wracking, because like right now a lot of spots have like opted into revenue shares and stuff, so there's limited spots on rosters, and everyone's hitting the portal right now, and everyone's looking for a different school for different reasons, and it's super overcrowded. So I say recruiting wise out of high school, it felt like a lot smoother to me, and then hitting the portal like halfway through college was, I think, a lot more nerve wracking for me. But on the other side, since I had already been through talking to coaches from high school and stuff, it became easier in college. I will say, like, to talk to coaches and stuff.
What ultimately led you to choose San Jose State?
San Jose State, I went on an official after I came home. I'm originally from the Bay Area, so I did like that it was closer to home. I get to be closer to my family. And then I took a visit, and I met their coach. I met a few of their coaches who were really cool, but Coach Madison, she's a female, and that's really important to me because I haven't had a female coach throughout college yet, especially like for jumps and stuff. I had like a part-time coach for a little bit of time before I got injured my freshman year, but it wasn't like a permanent situation. So it really was important to me to have female structure around me to see like how that would fare. And then I also really liked the head coach, Coach Ryan, and then the recruiting coordinator who I was originally talking to, Coach Lamont, was super cool. So I really liked the principles that all the coaches stood for. I really liked that they were really upfront and honest with me as well. I feel like a lot of times you'll talk to like different coaches and they'll sell you a dream, and then when you get to the place it'll be something different. I think the amazing thing about the San Jose State coaches is that they gave me the truth while also telling me that they can take me here and that they believe in me. So I think it was like a perfect mixture of dreaming and reality, and how we can combine the two to, you know, make ourselves the best athlete that we can be. So yeah, that's what drew me to it.
So what was that like growing up? I grow up right now in Southern California. I have some family in Northern California, actually, in San Jose. So what is it like growing up as African American, or I guess, well, I'll ask you, what would you consider yourself? I don't know.
Oh, like racially?
Like yeah,
Like,
between.
well, I'm half Tongan, half black. So my dad's side of the family is black, like African American. Most of them are from LA, and then my mom is from Tonga actually. So my mom's entire side of the family is from Tonga. My mom moved to America when she was 14.
Okay,
So
so I would say, I guess, as a African Tongan growing, sorry, my
no, no,
pronunciation is
no.
probably poor, but as an African Tongan growing up in Northern California, what was that like?
Um, it definitely has its ups and downs. I feel like growing up, I'm incredibly blessed because I have the inspiration from two very like amazing cultures that I get to be a part of. Of course, like, you know, when you're like going through puberty and you're like, who am I? Like, am I this? Am I that? And then, but when you get to a certain age and realize like you can be a little bit of everything, I think it can really only be a positive. So growing up, I feel like where I'm from, I have a lot of community. Um, I have a lot of family around me. I got a lot of cousins, and I think growing up, I grew up around so much love from so many different types of people that it allows me to be more open-minded when it comes to other people because I'm so used to seeing so many different types of people around me. So
And are those two cultures when growing up very different, or did they like kind of fuse together as one? Because I know also being from a pretty like different, being African American and then like Iranian, which are very different cultures. What is that like between being African American and Tongan?
there are definitely differences. I think every culture there's differences, but I think there's a surprising amount of like similarities that a lot of people wouldn't like think of. But I think I think when it comes to the core values, it's very similar, especially on like both sides of my family. Like both sides of my family are very driven with loyalty and passion, and we really have each other's backs. And I felt that from like all aspects of where I grew up and stuff. So yeah, I think there's differences, but there's also similarities, and I think having those can really like bring people together.
So, with the name of the podcast being Uncut Roots, we always ask what roots or values from your family or culture did you grow as a child, and like that you progressed with, and how has it shaped who you are today?
I would say resilience. My family, like my mom's side of the family, came to this country with nothing, you know, literally just a dream.
Yeah.
And what's so amazing about that, and I've seen it through my grandma, through my grandpa, through my mom, and all my aunties, is just getting back up every time you fall down. We stay down, but you can never stay down too long. And I think that's one of the most inspiring things that I've learned about myself. That as I got older, especially as I went to college out of state, being away from family and being away from the community you grew up in, it was really hard for me, especially the first year. And there was a lot of times I felt like I was down. And then I would just always have my mom in the back of my head saying, we don't stay down for too long. So at some point, you got to get up. So, yeah, I think resilience is probably the biggest thing.
And what does it mean to you to be able to represent your community, not only as a person of color, but as a woman of color, to inspire so much youth that look up to be in the position that you are today?
I think it's super important because I think when I was younger, I would have loved to have seen more people like me in positions of chasing further education and chasing dreams they have as an athlete and as a student and career goals, etc., etc. I think when I was younger, it would have helped me have a lot more confidence at a younger age, thinking that something can be possible. And I think it's very important for people to look like us, to be able to see people like us doing great things from a young age, because it really, I think everything starts with how you educate your kids. And when you tell your kids they can't do something, as they grow older, it's just going to be an even bigger battle to fight. It's going to be an uphill battle. But if you start young, teaching your kids that they can do something, and then showing them examples of people who have done this and who are there, I think that can lead to inner confidence from a young age, which can really help you like throughout life and stuff. So I think it's very important.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give your high school self to follow the path to become who you are today?
My high school self, man. I think I would just tell my high school self to have more confidence and more faith in that the end goal, it'll all work out. So whether your path goes left or path goes right, to have faith that at the end of the day you're going to get to where you need to go. So to sometimes be able to go along with the process no matter where the process takes you, even if it's like unexpected turns.
And then, what do you think is the most misunderstood thing about becoming a Division I athlete?
Most understood that it's all like just like fun and like really like shiny on the outside, I guess. Like I think it seems easier than what it is, even though I think in high school I remember I was like, this still seems really hard, but then when I became it, it was like 10 times harder than what I thought it was. Yeah. So it's definitely a lot more challenging.
So we'll do a rapid fire segment. I'll ask you questions, and whatever the first answer that comes to mind is, just that answer. Okay. So what is your favorite workout for track?
Stairs.
What's your favorite event?
Long jump.
Favorite food?
Ice cream.
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Today, Spain, since they just won the World Cup.
Favorite athlete growing up?
Allison Felix.
Morning or evening training?
Definitely morning.
And what is one word you think people that know you personally would use to describe you?
I don't know, actually. What would someone use to describe me? I'd say chill. Sorry, it took me a second.
No, thank you. So building off on, I guess, growing up in the Bay Area, I'm trying to think what exactly I'm trying to ask. I'll ask, did you grow up closer to like the Bay, like San Francisco or San Jose, where you are now?
I'm from East Palo Alto, so I'm from the middle of the Bay Area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's really close to Stanford, right?
Yeah.
And is the schooling really really competitive there? Like in
No, well, I grew up in there's Palo Alto where Stanford is, and then there's East Palo Alto.
East. Oh, okay.
So, I went to private school for high school, which is a way different environment than I say, like the public schools from my area are like. So
was it like a Christian school or like a?
It was a Catholic school, St. Francis.
Oh, okay. And I would say, what was the biggest obstacle you faced in your career?
Like as a track athlete?
It could be as a track athlete, off of the track, anything.
Well, freshman year of freshman year of college, I come and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, this is going to be my year. I'm going to ball out. My fall training went really well. And then first outdoor meet, I end up fracturing my spine. So I was out for 4 months, and I wasn't even able to jog until like the end of those 4 months. So It was like on complete rest for like 2.5, and then I could do physical therapy, but it wasn't like cardio, and I couldn't lift for like 5 months, I think. And that was probably the biggest hit that I took. That was the worst injury I've ever had, definitely. And it came like my first year, which was like you don't really know a lot and you're still trying to grasp the lay of the land. So it felt like a really rough time to get injured for sure. So
And yeah, so 4 months, wow, that's a long time. What, I guess, what did you do in the spare time when you like obviously weren't able to compete outside of recovering? Was it like, did you get, I guess, more involved with school or like friends? Like what, I guess, helped you recover away from the sport itself?
I will say I hit the books a lot. Studying, like, it was a really good way for me to take my mind off things. And then I started doing really random things. So our school is in Portland. Obviously, I'm not from there, so I took the liberty to be able to take the Max or like Uber to like random places and hike alone. I did a lot of like solo side quests just to fill the time. But then, yeah, I think I studied a lot too, like more like discipline wise, just because I didn't have anything else to do, and it was a good way to like take my mind off things.
And what has being a student athlete taught you outside of sports, I guess?
I think I definitely have a lot of discipline. I think student athletes, we probably have a little more discipline than a lot of people our age at this time, just because you have to be able to balance both. And at the end of the day, you have practice and you have meets and you have recovery and you have lift, but no one's going to do your schoolwork for you. So then you also
Right.
have to go home and hit the books and remember that you want to have an entire career away from your sport as well. And an education is just as important. So, yeah.
What do you plan on pursuing after athletics?
Law school. So I'm a pre-law
Oh,
political science student right now. And so, yeah, law school is the goal after I get my bachelor's.
that's awesome. I actually, my cousin's in law school right now. He's starting at
Oh,
UCSF in the fall.
awesome. Okay, that's fun.
Yeah,
That's a great campus there too.
yeah,
That's
yeah. So I guess as we wrap up, if you were to have, obviously, like life at times can be seen as a book almost. And what do you think is the next chapter for you?
I'll probably call my chapter like New Beginnings or something. I think this next chapter of my life, I'm starting at a new school, new team, people I don't really know, but I'm hoping that this new opportunity can bring a lot of blessings. I feel like so far I've had a lot of lessons. So now I'm ready for the blessings to come.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just call this chapter like New Beginnings. So a lot of a fresh start for sure.
Okay. Thank you so much for meeting with me today. And thank you everyone for watching. This is episode 5 of the Uncut Roots podcast, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.